Liberia, it was a country engulfed in war, its women bearing the brunt of the conflict. While peace finally did come, the legacy of violence against women continues to haunt the country. But Liberia's women are now taking positions of power and filling roles usually dominated by men, and it is making a difference.
From palm trees waving in the wind to waves lapping on the shores, it looks like paradise. But for more than 14 years, this was hell. Liberia in West Africa was shattered by a bloody civil war that began in the early 1990s. Some 250,000 people were murdered. But when the bloodshed finally ended in 2003, there was one group who played a very important role.
It was the women who really took up the challenge.
Ellen Johnson Sirleaf is president of Liberia and Africa's only elected female leader. She says the women rallied tirelessly for peace.
They sat in the sun and the rain so many times. They forced meetings with the Liberian president, the other presidents in the region, forced a peace.
The women of Liberia are serious about peace, and we will continue our activities until we have peace.
It was their strength, she says, that paved the way for Liberian women today. This is the story of how the nation is once again relying on the power of women. This time to help rebuild the nation's security and to restore law and order. The president has set a goal. 20% of all Liberia's security forces today, including Liberia's national police, must be women.
He sent a message to women that you have your own that are now part of the protection force. You can count on them, you can rely on them. It's a very sensitive and important role.
I am Chief Inspector Kolubi Panyo. I'm the Special Assistant in the Women and Children Protection Unit.
Inspector Panya is one of those women, and her unit, a model for other post-conflict countries, has a very specific mission: to investigate the staggering number of sexual and domestic crimes plaguing the country. This 49-year-old mother of three believes women officers are uniquely qualified to help the victims.
When they come with their plight, they expect somebody who's going to empathize, who's going to feel like them, feel the same way they feel.
Women like Panya play a critical role, in fact, as a culture of violence against women continues to haunt the country, says Liberia's Minister of Justice, Christiana Ta.
There are undercurrents. There are underlying unresolved issues.
Issues that began during the conflict, when an estimated 40% of all Liberia's women were attacked. Rape was unleashed as a weapon of war, and with it, she says, a breakdown in society.
There was complete chaos. There's lawlessness.
Anything goes.
And that persists for so many years.
Today, sexual violence rates remain devastatingly high, with some 50% of rape victims under the age of 15.
So if we don't address the issue of sexual violence, the sense of safety, the sense of security is still not there. And you can't say you have peace.
Izedua Derricks-Briggs is head of the UN Development Fund for Women, UNIFEM, in Liberia.
Women want action and they actually move to see the actions follow through.
And acting to secure peace is what Inspector Panya says motivates her every day.
This case is a rape case. That's about just this morning.
Alongside her is Joy Ugo Elamoko, one of some 8,000 UN peacekeepers on the ground in Liberia. She's helping advise and mentor officers like Panya.
We now about to start investigating this case.
Panya knows the police have only 48 hours to build a case before an alleged perpetrator is released from detention.
Sometimes cases of a serious nature I am sent on it to make follow-up on it so that it can be fast-tracked and sent to court. I say, we have to check on cases of recent cases.
What's the age of the victim?
Of 5 years.
5 years.
5-year-old. How serious is the injury?
The bruises.
But before they can finish, another case comes in. A child, allegedly beaten by a relative. She was found under a tree.
When did the incident occur?
5-10 minutes.
The child herself explain anything to you?
I said anything, yeah.
Let's go inside and we'll talk some more, yeah?
Panya talks to the little girl
What's her name?
and demands the officers document the evidence.
I feel bad. Yeah, I feel like, kind of, oh, what if the child was my child? A lot of time, this occurs. It's not just one community.
Panya and Joy race from station
We are on our way. Be there soon.
to station,
You been here before? Yeah. Okay.
see case after case.
How old is the victim?
10 years.
10 years old.
What of the suspect? How old is the suspect?
Suspect, according to him, 50 years.
50 years. What's about the perpetrator?
The perpetrator is here with us.
Panya wants to meet him.
So how long you were there for before?
She hopes if she gathers facts, she has some chance of prosecution. But securing justice has not been easy in this post-conflict country. There's a huge backlog of cases, and convictions are rare, leading to a sense of impunity. And so the women of Liberia once again spoke up, this time demanding a special court for sexual crimes. And in 2008, they got it. It's called Criminal Court E, the first of its kind in Africa.
We're basically saying to everyone that the war is over. We are about re-establishing the rule of law.
The court, with one-way mirrors and closed-circuit TVs to protect the victims, fast-tracks sexual assault cases. Half of the cases tried in this court have ended with convictions, but it's the only one in the nation. And in Liberia's vast countryside, access to justice is severely limited. And so, rural women are helping to fill the gap, dispensing justice here in what they call peace huts. Wearing the trademark white T-shirts of the peace movement, these women are part courtroom and part community police.
They follow the investigations. When they hear the police says there's no evidence, they say, how can the police say there's no evidence? We'll give them evidence. Come, let's show you the evidence. And these are women who haven't gone to school.
Cases of violence and domestic issues are brought here by women, to be mediated by women.
Imagine 50 women all walking to one home and telling the man, you touch her again, we are taking you to the police. Women who have come out of a war, now taking their own security in their own hands and saying, no, we can't allow this to go on.
Women like Ma Ani, who heads this peace hut, one of 17 throughout the country.
It's just about telling somebody the truth. So and see who is wrong, who is right. At the end of the day, there will be a judgment.
Something this woman, Sophie, is counting on.
Sophie, sit down. They can tell her what happened between you and your husband. You had a complaint you brought to us here.
Her former husband is refusing to pay child support, and her children are suffering, she says. She's asked to tell about her relationship.
Sophie, I want to ask you, how long you and the man be together?
10 years.
Sophie's former husband is pursued by the women and marched to the hut. He's also questioned.
Take your time to explain to us what happened between you and the woman here. You understand? If you cause problem in this place here, we will bring you down.
But something happens during his interrogation. The women feel he isn't cooperating.
You can't do that.
In an effort to make sure he knows they're serious, they tie him to a pole. By day's end, the women reached their verdict. The husband agrees to their demand that he pays Sophie $500 and he signs their contract. The women usually prevail, says Ma Ani, but the question remains, why do the men listen? The answer is simple, she says. If they don't respect the rulings, the women of the community will keep going after them.
The men listen to us. We have never been having problem with any of those cases. No. None of the cases have come back to us. When we finish with it, we make peace and finish.
But those in Liberia know that the work of bringing true security to the country is only just beginning. The key, they say, is continuing to invest in the power of women.
They're taking positions and they're standing up and exerting their rights. They have really been empowered.
There's a lot of work to be done, but we're not giving up. I'm very proud. The women of Liberia are very determined women. They did a lot of work to bring peace, and they will do a lot of work to maintain peace.